because that allegation, the FCT minister addressed it yesterday on a live program on Channels TV, where he actually said, yes, even if it's somebody related to me, but this was the same group of individuals, that's the governor of Edo State who was complaining about it, and I think what the chairman did was just to re-echo it, and the candidate came to see him twice in Abuja. This person was appointed over 1 year ago. The question is, if they had issues with that, why were they asking Wike to support him? Meaning that they wanted Wike to support him because of the relationship he has with the chairman, so with the REC. So it's a case of double standards. And besides, this man has been in office for over 1 year. The PDP candidate applied to him, right, for his voter's card. Because before the primaries, he did not have a voter's card, and he applied to this man. This was the same person who gave him a document that we believed is forged. They got an advantage from him. Those were the documents they tendered in court. Much as we know that, at the time, it was a dummy card they gave him. So at that time, they didn't complain that it's related to Wike when they obtained that voter's card for the PDP's candidate who has never voted before in Edo State. So these people, they are just trying to be more Catholic than the Pope. They have received many benefits from the man. Now they are not trying to call a dog a bad name just to hang him. So for us, we are comfortable with the way INEC has conducted itself so far. We are comfortable with the way the police have conducted themselves so far. But what we are asking for, the process should be seen to be free and fair. PDP have benefited from this same INEC in 2020. Obaseki benefited from the federal government of Buhari because at that time, he had a good relationship with Buhari. He did have issues. In 2016, when he contested, when he was still a member of the APC, he was comfortable with the arrangement because the commissioner of police at that time, he didn't have issues with him. In 2020, so why is it crying blue mother? Because he's not getting support from the APC federal government. The election we hold on Saturday, and I know people will come out. The police have assured us that it will be a peaceful, free, and fair process, that the police will remain neutral, and INEC is ready for that election. The PDP said somewhere that they are going to boycott. We heard it in one of their meetings. It is their right to boycott. They had local government elections in Edo State. That election was organized by appointees of Obaseki. Most parties that were not comfortable boycotted. So PDP boycotting will not be news. It is their right to remain in the race. It's their right to also tell their supporters not to be part of it. But so far so good. The electionary process has been peaceful, apart from one or two violence orchestrated by the PDP. And we expect that on Saturday, those people will come out to vote for candidates of their choice. And we are appealing to them. We have a senator from Edo Central who is our candidate. He has done very well as a senator. Before he became a senator, he was a humanitarian. That's the kind of person we want. He's a homegrown person. He's a people-oriented politician. And that's the person that those people are saying they want as their governor.
So again, I will just quickly mention, I have one or two questions left for you, but I will just quickly mention again that we refrain from some allegations that cannot be verified. But I wanted to ask you, because you have said that your candidate is the one to beat in this election. But I was listening to a comment from the candidate of the Labour Party who have said that, look, there is no way that your candidate, in a free and fair situation, there's no way that your candidate will win this election. How do you react to that statement?
I think for a person like Akpata who has never contested in a conventional election, this is not association politics. I love Akpata as a person because he was NBA president, but this is the first time he will be contesting an election. So for us, we don't want to go into cocktails and all of that. This is a man who won election as a senator, and I'll give you the statistics. In 1999, when democracy returned to Nigeria, PDP occupied the seat he occupies now. For the past how many years, past how many seasonal elections we've had, PDP has never won any election in Edo Central. Or rather, PDP has never lost any election in Edo Central. They have occupied that seat for over 20 years, until last year when Senator Okpebolo contested the election and won. He won in all the 5 local governments of Edo Central because the people saw him as a humanitarian. He defeated a sitting senator across all the wards of that particular senatorial district, across all the local governments in that senatorial district. He brought a new winning streak. And at the end of that electoral process, his opponent, Senator Odia, conceded. And the good news is that Senator Odia's colleague in the Senate, who is from Edo North, will be joining our party, the APC today. Senator Francis Alebikena will join our party at the rally. The vice president already has arrived in. We have many APC governors, including the governors of Kwara, Kogi and other states who are there, and Lagos State, who are there to support our party. So his colleague in the Senate at the time, Senator Francis Alemekina, is leaving PDP to join us. So it shows that PDP is a party to beat. I don't know where Olumide got his assessment from, but if there's an election today in Edo State, there's no way Akpakomiza will not have more than 80% of the votes, because Edo people see him as a homegrown person. They see him as a humanitarian. As a senator, he has performed excellently well. The Bini-Auchi road that has been in a very terrible shape, he moved a motion on the floor of the Senate, and that motion has received attention by the federal government, and work has started in earnest on the eastern axis of that road. And apart from that, many communities have benefited from his humanitarian intervention. He has sunk boreholes, he has rebuilt schools, areas where government has failed, he has intervened. Even as a sitting senator, most of the abandoned roads and new roads are being constructed by him as senator. These are things meant for the executive arm of government, particularly Edo State government. Areas where Edo State government has failed, he has intervened. That's the kind of governor we have, that will give human face to governance. Not a governor that will bring his friends from Lagos, not a governor that will support a candidate who has never voted before in Edo State. I mean, it is not done. You don't enter a school from JSS1 and you want to be the school prefect meant for those in SS3. So as our candidate has said elsewhere in the BBC interview, both Akpata and Aso Ighodalo are baby politicians.
So, Mr. Andrew Avata, you said something that I want to quickly, before I ask you my final question. You mentioned that I think it was an error that the PDP is the party to beat. I want you to quickly correct that before you start to trend on social media.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy that I said that in the fit of my submissions, but it is the APC that is a party to beat. We are going to beat PDP
right,
black and blue.
I don't want
the last elections, excuse me, in the last election we had in Edo State, remember, PDP did not win. Out of the 2 senatorial seats they had, they could not retain any of them. In the entire Edo South,
let me ask you on
February last year, they lost all the elections.
I just didn't want you to trend. I just didn't want you to trend for the wrong reason on social media. I know that the opposition will quickly use that, you know, as a campaign poster for themselves. But I wanted to ask you, because
I said we are going to beat PDP in that election. We are going to beat PDP across the 192 wards in that election.
My final question. All right, let's get to my final question. Edo State is not the only state with, you know, running off-cycle elections in this season. Ondo State is one of them. But we've seen more tension and violence in Edo State. And people are concerned that this might affect voter turnout. Why are we seeing more tension in Edo State than any other state? You know, Ondo State, for example, that is also, you know, contesting a governorship election. And what, you know, it should be done. I want you to speak now, just not even as a member of the APC, but as someone who is from Edo State. What should be done to ensure that people come out to vote and the election is free and fair?
I think initially there were certain challenges which border on security, the use of arms, proliferation of weapons, the fear that, you know, politicians were keeping or storing arms and all of that. But I think the ban by the Inspector General of Police in the course of the week of the Edo Security Network, believed to be the private army or the police of Obaseki for the purpose of election, I think that will, to a very large extent, reduce the tension. Because now the police have said, once you are found with a firearm, you will be apprehended. So that nobody can now hide under the guise of, oh, I'm a vigilante member. So I think that will go a long way. And again, we should know that it is the parties that produce candidates, not a government. So I think the Edo State government should not see this election as a do or die thing. The rate at which the governor is involving himself, he was the one that told General Abdul Salami that his party, even days before that, you know, particularly on the eve of the signing of that peace accord. I mean, making that kind of a statement is, for me, totally, you know, unacceptable. The governor should not make those kind of statements. You are sending the wrong signal to your people. At the moment, you are not governor of PDP, you are governor of Edo State. So I think the governor should be called to order by members of his party's leadership, because this election will come and go, but Edo State will remain. I will encourage our people on election day to come out. Nobody will molest them because there will be security. We are going to have members of the police and other security agencies to ensure that lives and property are secured. At the end of the day, the person that will emerge as winner will be governor of the entire state, not governor of his political party or of his supporters. And I can assure you that that election will be won on the basis of popular votes. It will not be an election that will be subjected to government intervention, because it is Edo people that will make that choice. Not the Edo State government, but Edo people. So I will encourage our people to come out and vote for Senator Mondo Bevolo, who is a man that people see as a man of peace. We do have to leave it there. We need somebody that will unite our states, because our state is highly divided under our We need a government that will unite our states.
But we do have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Pleasure having you on. Former Commissioner for Information in Edo State, Andrew Amata. All right, let's take a break.